What if I told you the real reason you're still not rich has nothing to do with how much money you make? Hi, I'm Nora. And for years, I believed that if I just worked hard enough and saved every extra dollar, wealth would eventually show up. It didn't. I grew up in a house where money was never really talked about. Nobody sat me down and explained how credit worked, how investing worked, or why some people build wealth effortlessly while others stay stuck no matter how hard they try. So I did what most of us do. I got a job. I opened a savings account. I clipped coupons. I felt responsible. And for a while that felt like enough. Until I ran the numbers. At age 25, I had saved about $11,000 over 3 years. Sitting in a regular savings account earning less than 1% interest, that money was barely keeping up with inflation. I was getting poorer every year without knowing it. That's when I learned something that changed everything for me. Saving money and growing money are two completely different skills. One protects what you have. The other multiplies it. Here's the thing most personal finance content won't tell you. It's not about a magic formula or a secret stock tip. It's about understanding a few core principles and applying them consistently, even when the results feel invisible at first. Think of your money like a garden. Saving is like locking your seeds in a drawer so nothing can happen to them. Investing is like planting them in soil and letting time do the heavy lifting. A locked drawer never grows a single tree. Now, you might be thinking investing sounds risky. What if I lose everything? That fear is completely normal. But staying completely out of the market isn't the safe choice. It's just a different kind of risk, one that guarantees your money slowly loses value. Let's look at two people. Person A saves $500 a month for 20 years in a regular bank account. Person B invests that same amount averaging a 7% annual return. Person A ends up with about $120,000. Person B ends up with over $260,000. This is where it gets really interesting because the gap isn't about intelligence or income. It's about psychology. Our brains are wired to prioritize short-term safety over long-term growth. Once I understood that my brain was working against me, not for me, I stopped blaming myself for feeling scared and started building small systems to work around that fear instead. So I started small. I automated $20 a week into a simple investment account. Not because $20 would change my life overnight, but because I needed to build the habit before I built the wealth. 3 months in, nothing dramatic happened. 6 months in, still nothing dramatic. But by month 18, I had built both a habit and a small but growing pile of money finally working for me instead of just sitting there. Here's what most people don't realize about building wealth. It's rarely one big decision. It's dozens of small, boring, repeated decisions that compound quietly in the background while you're busy living your life. That experience is exactly why I started this channel. My name is Nora, and I spend an unreasonable amount of time thinking about financial psychology, everyday money mistakes, and the small shifts that actually move the needle. If you've ever felt like money is confusing, overwhelming, or just not something people like you are supposed to understand, this channel is for you. Every week, I'm going to break down one real financial concept in plain language using real numbers and real examples, not vague advice, not hype, just the actual mechanics of how money grows, how debt works, how taxes work, and how the wealthy actually think differently about risk. And I want to be upfront about something. I'm not going to tell you to skip your coffee to get rich. Small daily sacrifices matter far less than a handful of correct big decisions made early and repeated consistently. I'm not a Wall Street trader, and I don't come from money. I'm someone who spent years confused, made real mistakes, and eventually pieced together the systems that actually work for regular people with regular incomes. In the coming weeks, we're going to cover why your first $1,000 invested matters more than your fifth, what happens to your money during inflation, how compound interest quietly works for or against you, and why most people's biggest financial risk is never starting at all. Here's what most people don't realize until much later. You don't need to be rich to start building wealth. You need to start building wealth to eventually become rich. The order matters, and most of us have it backwards. Wherever you're starting from, whether that's your very first paycheck or you're 20 years in and just now paying attention, there is no wrong time to actually understand how your money works. If any part of this resonated with you, or if you've ever felt behind on money without knowing exactly why, hit subscribe. New videos come out every week, and every single one is designed to leave you with one concrete thing you can actually apply. I'm Nora, and I'm here to help you build wealth on your terms, one honest, practical video at a time. I'll see you in the next one.